Rogue One, a Star Wars story, famously and boldly killed off every major character in the film. So I thought it would be interesting to revisit the novelization and talk about all of their final thoughts. Some things in here play out slightly differently than they do in the film. If you're wondering about canon, I would say the film takes priority. The novel just has some interesting embellishments. We'll start chronologically with K2SO. As he took more and more blaster shots, he attempted to reroute his most vital functions. His programming calculated 89 ways to prolong his existence, but knowing they would involve the capture and execution of Kassian, he rejected them all. As we see in the film, he instructed Kassian and Jyn to climb the tower before destroying the controls to the vault door. In his last second before total shutdown, he simulated an impossible scenario in which Kassian survived. The simulation pleased him. Next up is Chirrut. After flipping the master switch, he felt the explosion that would kill him. When Baze reached him, he thought about making a joke about how he wasn't able to see, but decided his friend needed comfort now, not humor. Actually, throughout the book, Chirrut is much more lighthearted and comedic than we see in the film. As he died in Baze's arms, he trusted that he was one with the Force and that he would see his friend again. Meanwhile, Bodie was scrambling back aboard the cargo shuttle. His plan was to send his message to the rebel fleet above, pick up Jyn, Kassian, and anyone else he could, and then escape the planet. After Chirrut flipped the master switch and he delivered the message to Admiral Raddus, he knew the rest of the plan was likely hopeless. He knew he had done enough, but he was still going to try to save his friends. As he climbed up the ladder to the cockpit, he heard the clang of metal hit the cabin and saw the detonator just before it exploded. This is what plays out slightly differently in the film. When Baze saw the explosion, he knew that Bodie was likely dead as well. He spoke the words that Chirrut had repeated so freely, and as he did, he felt the conviction he had forsaken. He felt the Force give him strength. He felt grief for Chirrut and sadness for straying so far from his own faith. He saw the grenade that would kill him, so he looked at his friend one last time, and I think he believed they would be together again. As Cassian Andor waited to die, he looked back on his time as a spy for the rebellion and the terrible things he had done for a cause he believed in. But he felt that in this mission to Scarif, he had done something right. He didn't know whether or not anyone truly picked up their transmission, but he knew that when he died, he would be ready and he would be content. When Jyn saw the Death Star's blast hit the planet, she felt no fear. She was confident that the plans had been received and that the rebellion would finish what she started. She thought back to her mother and especially her father, who she had spent so long hating until she saw his message in Saw's hideout. She felt at peace for the first time in a long time as the blast of the Death Star consumed her. Jumping back in time just a bit, I want to cover Krennic's final thoughts as well because they're my favorite of the bunch. As he stared up at the Death Star in the sky, knowing it was preparing to fire, he knew the Death Star would endure. He knew his mark had been made on the galaxy, and that every victory Tarkin achieved would be thanks to his work. But then he dwelled on Jyn's words to him about a weakness in the station, and he remembered. A last-minute solution to a problem with radiation buildup. A solution that he himself approved when Galen Erso presented it. A single thermal exhaust port. He died screaming in fury at Galen Erso, Jyn Erso, Grand Moff Tarkin, and the entire galaxy. The Rogue One novelization is by Alexander Freed, and I really do believe it improves upon the film and embellishes its characters. Getting into their heads like this was the best thing about it. If you're interested in reading it for yourself, you can pick it up for free on Audible, and I put a link to do that in the description. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.